Hey, what's up guys, Master here back with another R22 game, and today I'm going to showcase two games involving Hardpoints. It is a rarely used upgrade. Not sure why players don't purchase it more often. It did receive a cost reduction in 1.02 Plus. It used to cost $2,500. Now you can get it for a measly $2,000. Yes, I know it's not a big cost reduction, but nevertheless, players have not been upgrading it even since it was changed like a year and a half ago. So I'm going to showcase it in these two games. This particular one will involve Steel Talons. Now Zocom, don't get this upgrade. It's only GDI and Steel Talons. This map has some drawbacks when you're going for an air-centric strategy, and that is both players have access to an EMP control center. As you see, there's an EMP spike right next to your base to capture early on. So if I do plan to build Orcas or Firehawks, I'm going to have to take out my enemy's EMP before that destroys me. What often happens is your opponent waits for you to land at your airfield and just uses the EMP on all of your aircraft there, killing them in the process. Obviously, you can't destroy landed aircraft, but when they're lifting up and landing, that's what happens. They just use it and blow up all the air. Tournament Crater, though, pretty popular map. I enjoy this map quite a lot. It differs quite a bit from most of the community maps in that both players have easy to access blue field, but can be harassed, as well as the bridges in the middle can make it difficult to position your units. You have to be very careful, because sometimes if you allow valuable units to cross those bridges, they can be destroyed. I once used booby traps to destroy the bridge segments on this map, but I never got high value targets like epic units on it. But another use of the hardpoint upgrade would maybe be bombing those bridges. All it takes is 2 Firehawks to destroy one of those bridge segments, and if you see your opponent's epic unit on there, you can stratofighter in and destroy that bridge. So far, pretty standard game. One thing I will mention is the $3,000 refineries at the start of the game do slow the pace down a little bit. Good for commentators to talk about things that are happening in the early game. But as a player, I don't particularly enjoy this stage of the game that much. And my dog is barking for no apparent reason. Hopefully he stops doing that soon. This is the second time I've re-recorded this video, so hopefully I don't have any issues going forward. There are 2 games to cover. I'm going for an MRT right now. These are good for defense. They also provide repairs to my harvesters if they come under attack. The harvesters have a garrison slot inside of them, so I can put missiles or riflemen inside. But rarely used. Plus there's a chance your harvester can become frozen. If your harvesters are docking whilst the infantry unit is trying to garrison it, then the harvester has the chance of becoming stuck permanently. I found it is possible, I think, to fix this, but it has not been the top of my list as far as changing and fixing things goes. That has remained in the game since basically the game released, but you never see it because no one really garrisons their harvesters. Every time I do, I've not had much success with it, unfortunately. Mutant Marauders can be effective just because they have that AA capability as well, but I'm now building these Grenadier squads, and they're going to be effective against his Grenadier squads. He's actually got one of his own in his APC. And I'm microing my MRTs back. One of them does go down, but this attack will be thwarted. I'm looking to use the EMP, not sure if it's worth it. I managed to get 4 Pred tanks in the process. Grenades are being made by me just because I don't have the AP ammo upgrade researched just yet. And now these orcas are going to be used to kill the Predator tanks. I just need to take out these Predator tanks. He's going for the crush on my Grenadiers. Grenadiers very effective with that weapon speed increase. And I've done a trick here with my secondary airfield. I used it to research hardpoints, but you will notice I've paused the hardpoints upgrade at 99% completion. This is for good reason. It's so that when my orcas land next time with an empty magazine, I can resume that hardpoint upgrade and get a free instant refill on all of my docked aircraft, saving the reloading time. In the case of Firehawks and Orcas, it is considerable. That is a lot of missiles to reload. So Orcas do benefit a lot from this, as well as Firehawks, man. They take quite a while. So I've got the 4 Orcas out looking for a target to take out. People is going for my harvesters. They managed to get 1 or 2 of them, and my Orcas will respond by going for his harvester. See, he's been taking some blue Tiberium as that harvester has some blue smoke emitting from it. I've also garrisoned this middle building with missiles inside. Those have a lot of HP. Plus I can combo that with MRTs to get some repairs. So more of his harvesters are going down here. And another attack is coming my way. But this garrison of a building will slow him down. I'm going to also use these mines. He doesn't have stealth detection. No pitbulls there. His infantry can reveal mines, but they have to walk up to them to reveal them. And this MRT push of mine was just to slow down his forces so I can put some watchtowers down. Those now have the APM upgrade, and now you're going to reveal. I'm going to reveal the trick where I get the instant reload on my 4 Orcas. And you see there, not only can hardpoints be used to get a plus 50% increase to the Orca rocket capacity, but also I can combo it with that technique to get an instant refill, which will allow these Orcas to come back and strike my opponent once again very quickly and efficiently. So I'm going for his harvesters. Unfortunately though, I was unable to kill all of those harvesters. He was prepared for it this time. He's got the slingshot and the AA battery. The GDI AA defense is not particularly strong without the tungsten upgrade, but it is hit scan damage, and unlike Nod's missiles, they deal damage instantaneously. It can mean you never really overkill your opponent's aircraft. It really is what makes GDI effective against planetary assault carrier drones. They can drone strip the packs very efficiently with those slingshots. Packs also struggle against moving targets, which makes it even worse for them. But I got a game showcasing planetary assault carriers coming up after this video. Marv comes out for me. Zocom now have a couple of options available to them. They can go infantry. Imp Shat being Shatterer, is an effective combination to use against Steel Talons. Shatterers can deal with the Wolverines very quickly, and Wolverines are really the only anti-infantry unit Steel Talons can, or rather Zocom can build. Sorry, what am I talking about? Steel Talons, man. They don't have much anti-infantry. They got Hammerheads and Wolverines, unless you go 2 MCVs, but those aren't as good as they once were. You can use the Sonic Repulsion Field and get an armor boost to your MCV, but it's not quite like what it was in vanilla, where that upgrade would give you plus 100% armor to your buildings. That was fixed in 1.02 Plus, which makes the multi-MCV strategy a lot less effective than it once was. I'm researching the railgun upgrade, but probably getting the hardpoints first. I've actually already got the railguns. Getting tungsten shells, obviously that should have came first. There's no real need for railguns in this matchup unless your opponent's going into mammoth spam, which is rare, especially against steel talons. It's mostly infantry you have to be concerned about. Like I said, mid-game infantry pushes from Zocom can be effective when comboed with Zocom walkers and shatterers. If you can take out those Wolverines, then it just makes the rest of Steel Talon's forces hopeless in many situations. You see the hardpoint upgrade beginning to shine, bombing those power plants. I was able to get all 4 with 4 of my Firehawks. 3 bombs is all it takes, so once you've got that hardpoints upgrade, it permits you then to bomb and destroy those power plants in one shot. You can kill armories as well with 3 bombs, as well as a Space Command uplink, though I believe Space Command uplink is only required just the 1 Firehawk with 2 bombs. And with 2 Firehawks, I think you can even destroy a tier 3. No, tier 3 has 10,000 health. Each individual bomb of the Firehawk deals 1,500 damage. 6 times 1.5 is it 9,000? I think it is, right? Tier 3 has 10,000 health, so you'd need 3 regardless. It's 3 Firehawks to destroy the Technology Assembler or Tech Center, but even if your opponent gets the Sonic Repulsion Field, it's still 3. So I'm going to go ahead and bomb these power plants. At this point, Panic doesn't really have much to destroy my aircraft. These Firehawks are taking out his power grid, and he simply does not have anything but this Marv to combat the Steel Talon's army. Him being slowly pushed back at this point. I've got an EMP at my disposal. I may be forced to use it for those pitbulls. Yeah, man, Steel Talons, definitely a powerful faction in 2024. The recent command post win rate statistics for 1.02 plus shows Steel Talons to be on top. So a lot has changed in this community patch. No more is this a joke faction, though the main reason it was because its harvesters harvested way slower, plus there were several experience bugs as well. A lot of bugs contributed to these sub-factions being either overpowered or underpowered. So yeah, that's going to be game 1 showcasing hardpoints. We're going to get straight into game number 2 and see what it's all about. There's going to be another game showcasing hardpoints once again. Okay guys, welcome back to game number 2, which takes us to Tiki Turmoil. I'm going to be playing as Steel Talons once again. I'm going to be playing versus Bleak this time, a Dutch Red Alert 3 player known as Dutch Army. He has improved quite significantly in Kane's Wrath. I'm very surprised. Obviously, skills transfer in these RTS games. There's not much difference in the user interface nor the controls, so I imagine if you play any other Sage engine RTS, you would be familiar already with how things are, particularly at a high level. But yeah, Dutch Army, he has been playing a lot of GDI factions, and in this particular game he's going to be maining his GDI. He has been playing a lot of Black Hand as well as a secondary faction. Black Hand nowhere near as dominant as it once was, but a lot of people still pick it in tournaments, mostly for all-inning and rushing. So if you see your opponent picking Black Hand in tournament events, then obviously there's going to be an all-in coming your way. Otherwise it just makes more sense picking Mark Kane, because they have stealth and better tools just at their disposal later on. Like the Spectre artilleries are stealthed, that's a big deal. Gonna do a bit of anti-scouting here. It's particularly important against a GDI faction because they can dig a foxhole, and that is very annoying to deal with because they just have eyes in your base for really a long period of time until you can deal with it, and sometimes you just don't have the time to deal with it. So it's worth it just to drop a watchtower. Sometimes it can delay your economy. You won't have resources to drop a second refinery. But I knew I was versus GDI in this game, so I didn't have to invest massively into scouts. There's not much that GDI can do early on to rush you with unless they all in Orca. But this is a large map and I don't think Orcas would be able to win it for them, even when unscouted. This map though, still played to this day. It was made by Technique. Very high quality map. Sadly though, he has not returned to Kane's Wrath since leaving in 2018. I still maintain contact with Technique, talk to him on Discord quite periodically. Not about Kane's Wrath, but about RTS in general. We discuss the new RTS games that are coming out, like Stormgate. But yeah, it's fascinating to get his perspective even to this day. He was a big fan of fast-paced RTS and units that move very fast as well, like attack bikes. He was a fan of Nod for this very reason. Bike buggy spam, Scorpions, liked fast units. So whenever we proposed a speed nerf, he was always vehemently against it. But I've got these MRTs here, out in front, tanking that damage. 2 watchtowers targeting that MRT, but it's just not enough DPS. And I'm able to clean up those missiles, forcing even more units out of Bleak. Now this has obviously delayed my economy as well. Both of us have 1 harvester, 1 refinery, harvesting on our expansions. But I'm just delaying him for as long as possible here. I've dropped my second rev. And I don't think Pibbles are the response to MRTs. MRTs very effective. They are very paramount for Steel Talon's early game. You can see there is a decal for the GDI mine drop ability. Nod used to be the decal that they had before for mine drop, but now there's a specific GDI decal for those mines. Plus the color of the mines themselves are no longer red like Nod. They actually turn to orange. So I've dropped my airfield. Bit of a counterattack coming in here from Bleak, but it's just a handful of pitballs. Goes for the MRTs, gets 1 of them. I don't want to head on over to the middle of the map in case he has that defensive tower. He dug a foxhole in the middle, so I'm assuming he captured it. So I need to be very careful. I'm paying attention to that area. Behind this, I'm going for Orcas once again. I feel like those are particularly underrated as a unit. In GI mirrors, they are way more effective than your hammerheads are. But hammerheads can also be good. If your opponent's going Orcas, you go hammerheads, equip them with missiles, then you can target down those Orcas. But it's tricky. Hammerheads excel on certain types of maps. Tournament decision, where the terrain is extremely mountainous, can be very good for those aircraft. It's hard to get into position with those land-based AA units to catch them and take them out. Pipples going for my harvesters. I was trying to hide them in that blue field, but those will sadly be taken out there. And he's responded nicely to the Orcas. I did not destroy anything but 1 harvester, so that was unfortunate for me. And I thought, hey, I've got the hardpoint upgrade. It's pointless just not going for any more aircraft. If Orcas aren't an option, I should definitely go for Firehawks. At the very least, it will secure air dominance for me, because even if he builds his own Firehawks, if one of mine remain alive, I'll be able to unload those additional 2 missiles on him, and that'll probably destroy another of his Firehawks if he goes for it. So I'm heading on out with these 2 Orcas. They are equipped with 6 rockets. Do a quick radar scan there. Orca strikes are pretty random. Sometimes they can be effective. If your opponent is distracted, he may not realize that his harvesters are going to get attacked in the ref, and that leaves them on low health. Can then be taken out with the Orcas easily. Marv comes out. For Steel Talons, these Marvs aren't as bad as they once were, because now the rifle turret does even more damage. It is a potent hard point for the Marv. With that range increase, it's even better than the Redeemer's machine gun turret, despite me buffing that to an insane amount. Like, it got more than a 2 times increase in damage. Yet still, I feel like its effectiveness is less than a single Marv turret, probably due to the clip size being only 13, whereas the Marv has unlimited clip size, plus it does not require a reload, unlike the Redeemer. Pit's going into my base once again. They will see I've got ample defenses. He's obviously trying to catch these Firehawks on the deck as they reload. And a little bit exposed in my second expansion. I got my Marv out too. So this is going very well for me. However, he does have an ample size army in his second field to take on this Marv, but this Marv is mostly a distraction while I go for the primary target, which are these power plants. I'm going to use power plants, but not before taking out the tier 3. I was a bit confused there why my Firehawks did not take out that tech center, but it was because I did not fully reload the Firehawks. Orcas, Pipples in my base, however, will be doing damage. Mammoth Tank with its double cannon will be pretty effective. It has way quicker reload time compared to the railgun turret. So in that situation there against these lightly armored Pitbulls, it actually serves me better having no railguns. Speaking of railguns, he himself has them, which is unusual. Usually the Steel Talons are the ones with the more railgun-oriented units. But yeah, I'm going to have to research that upgrade now. I've only just started researching it, and this army of Mav tanks is heading my way. I see all these power plants here for taking out, and I'm going to go ahead and just absolutely blitz this power grid of his. You can see with just this hardpoint upgrade, I can take out a power plant with a single Firehawk. That will almost certainly put him low on power. He's going to have double the build time. It's going to make him no longer have a mini-map, and it's going to complicate his operations here. He's not going to have power to summon in the shockwave artillery or use those support powers he'd like to use. But at this present time, I need to stall this attack for as long as possible. He's also got EMP and infantry mixed in. My Mav tanks don't have adaptive armor, so I'm unable to withstand the assault here from these mammoths. Harvest is going down. I've got hammerheads. Mav tanks do have some missiles to deal damage to aircraft, but in the recent patch, that has been reverted to how it was. The DPS is no longer insane versus aircraft. Works a lot like the rocket harvester. Does a lot of damage to ground units, but not so much to aircraft. And I'm actually using Firehawks to bomb mammoth tanks. You know what, guys? With that hardpoint upgrade, the damage against vehicles is not too bad. You saw there, I aimed between two Mav tanks and I was able to deal significant damage. Enough damage so that those mammoths could not fire another rocket volley off on those hammerheads. So yeah, my hammerheads are alive, and I've got these Firehawks still. I'm going to use them once again to bomb him. I go for the MCV. 6 Hawks with hardpoints is more than enough to destroy an MCV. I think even if it were fenced, you would still be able to destroy it with just the 6. So yeah, definitely paying dividends, this hardpoint upgrade. And you can see it gives you a late game siege option too. Even if your opponent's base is littered in AA defenses, you can utilize the Hawks to just bomb all their power. 6 Firehawks, man, you can destroy 6 individual targets. I'm gonna deploy these combat support airfields to relocate the Firehawks because he knows of their whereabouts in the top of the map. He may have a plan to take them out. So here I go once again. I'm going to bomb these power plants. And the Firehawks are coming in. Again, I did not fully reload. The Hawks should have been a bit more patient. Nevertheless, though, he loses a bunch more power plants. I must have had 2 bombs instead of the 3 in my Firehawk. The reload time is quite significant. If you're used to it reloading in a certain time, then it's easy to make that mistake there. So slingshots are now out for him. He doesn't have the tungsten shell upgrade. I've got Mav tanks starting to pour out for myself. He's got an expansion. I do myself, but I don't have my main alive anymore. So he's got a base advantage over me, but he doesn't have an MCV. And 1 Hawk, man, taking out 2 upgraded power plants. An absolutely amazing trade there. As well as the tier 3 goes down. So these Hawks definitely being a huge fawn for him. Lost one of the Firehawks, but that's not the end of the world. And a little trick I like to use with Firehawks is to assign a bookmark to where my airfields are. And whenever I want to strato back to base, I just press the assigned key for the bookmark and then strato right there. Shortens the reload and bombing cycle of the Firehawks drastically, so you can get back out once again with your Firehawks. Bleak, however, does not want to surrender in this game. He, of course, still has an army. He still has chances in this game. I myself do not have much as far as ground units are concerned, but I do have Firehawks, and he has yet to respond to this. So I'm going to go for the power plant and the refinery simultaneously, microing these Firehawks as much as I can. And with just the 2 Mav tanks there, I'm going to have to get more out on this map here. I do have 10 hammerheads, even though I can't equip them with zone troopers. They're still upgraded with that AP ammo, and that's really all you need to make Firehawk super effective. So once again, I'm going to try and attempt this bombing campaign once again. He's upgraded all of his power plants, so those have become even more valuable for him. I'm going to stratified over there. Sadly for me, I just fly into his double A, and I'm going to change targets here and go for his tier 2. So yeah, 1 Firehawk has yet to use its payload, but I do have 1 left, and that's going to skirt around the side. I'm going to find this power plant and take it out here. So 1, 2, 3. Power plant goes down, Firehawk stratos out, and he's already low on power. So yeah, just a $1,500 Firehawk can take out a $1,000 power plant. I have no idea, guys, why players don't research this upgrade more often. You can see in these mirrors how useful it can be. And against Zocom, I think it's necessary as well, because they have the Shamrock armor, and you need that additional damage to take on their hammerheads and Firehawks. It's a key upgrade for both GDI and Steel Talons against the Zocom sub-faction. But again, nobody upgrades it, so they struggle a lot of the time to deal with those Firehawks. For Nod, it's a simple case of upgrading Tip Core and getting Stealth Tanks. Tell you what, Stealth Tanks completely own this. And I'm just rinse and repeating these Firehawks. I'm going in, I'm bombing, and then I'm hitting the J key, which is the associated key for the bookmark Control J, where my dual combat support airfields were. Now it's just the 1 combat support. I can sell those combat support airfields off now and not lose out on it due to it giving me a rifleman squad at this point. So here we go once again. I'm going to bomb. And I still make the same mistake with these Hawks. I'm just not allowing them to reload. They do take a little longer to get that 3rd bomb back. But yet again, another attack is coming in here, and I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this. I can't bomb them with my Firehawks like I did the previous time. Marv in his base here. But this is it for Bleak. He's got slingshots in the back, which is complicating the defense of the hammerheads. Marvisting that field of his as well. I've brought in some blue Tiberium from his blue field. Mav tanks scattered. Don't want them all to be EMP'd, though they can be if I activate the adaptive armor. Hammerheads flying into slingshots, a terrible idea. But I'm hoping that the slingshots move into the Mav. Mav tanks will automatically target armor over anything else. And yeah, these firehawks I can use to take out his inf, but most of it appears to be cleaned up already by the hammerheads. And this Marv is just cleaning up shop here. It has the grenade as well as 2 riflemans inside. That will give it great anti-infantry capability. 6 Marv tanks for me, and you can see here the effectiveness of this Marv against infantry. These are GDI composite armor upgraded infantry. We can see on the barracks that the crate has been changed to the composite armor one, which means the upgrade is now online for the GDI player. It's an indication like how the Confessor glows on the Hand of Nod is in 1.02 plus. Marv moving in, and this is a good showcase once again of these garrisons. Marv pushing through, and the final bombing run of this game will involve me bombing these power plants, and I'm going to activate the adaptive armor in this final push, and it is going to be game over here. Bleak does not want to surrender. He obviously was a bit tilted after me repeating the same tactic over and over a couple games prior to this one with the MRT push, but it was not the same exactly because I built pitballs to accompany my APCs this time around, and he did not respond to it adequately. He should have gone for Predator tanks as well. Nevertheless, I won that game, and I hope you all enjoyed this cast as well as these 2 games here on Tiki Turmoil and Tournament Crater against both Bleak and Panic. Anyways, I'm going to catch you all in the next game. I do have a bunch more videos to come, so stay tuned. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and this is me, Master Leaf. Peace out.